Yes, immediately you're going to see that this is not your everyday Kerbin. And that is a ring system that is around the planet that once you get up above the atmosphere, it's even more prominent, and it looks really, really nice. And yes, that is a sun that is not the standard sun, so I guess I should stop talking and just get up there. I will be using MechJeb just to make sure everything's quick and efficient, since this isn't completely about realism. It's more about trying to test everything and to show it off. So I think we are ready to go. And make sure everything is draining properly. Yep, looks like the fuel lines are in. So I'm going to turn off the display so that you guys can see just what I was talking about how different this planet looks. So immediately you can see that the terrain is a lot more varied, a lot more color to it, and it sounds like everything on here is, the textures are pretty much hand done. So he's put a lot of work into this, and it really sort of shows the way everything looks. And I love that the launch center, it's still, I guess, the Kerbal Space Center, even though they're not on Kerbin. It's on this little ringed island here. It's sort of set off away from everything. It does have a runway, obviously, but I just love that it's sort of stuck out in the middle of nowhere with some of the larger landmass all around it. But you can see some of the really sharp cliffs over there. The mountains in general are a lot sharper, taller, and more attractive than Kerbin's. I like that there's so much variety in terrain in this. Kerbin obviously is really cool, but I just think that there's more exploration and fun to be had on something like this. So let me see why we're wobbling here. I thought I turned limit. Okay, well, it'll probably be fine. Hey, we didn't explode. Well, they did later, but we're good, we're good. So let me turn that back off. Oh, that plume looks really good. I don't know if I've ever actually used that engine, but that's a really nice looking plume. So which engine is that? That is the Sarnus Reg or Reger or whatever. I really like the way that plume looks. That's really cool. So I'm assuming that you are already aware of the difference. So yes, that is a blue sun. That is a ring system, and you'll notice the skybox in this is pretty outstanding looking. Let me deploy our shell here, since we don't need that anymore. And obviously we've got way more than enough Delta V. I don't even know if I'm going to have to use that transfer stage there. But like I said, I'd rather be a little safe than sorry, since this is just to set up a point to drop our ship or our plane on in just a little bit here. Once we get into a solid orbit, I'm going to zoom out in the map view and just give a little glimpse of what the whole planetary system looks like, because it's a little different than Kerbin. So not everything has been named entirely, or I guess the new names have not been entirely finished yet, and the science is not active. That's why we're still in beta testing with this. So a lot of the things aren't active, but you are going to get a sense of what it's going to look like and what it's supposed to be when all is said and done. And I will be posting information in the description of the video where you can find the forum page for the mod itself. So now that we are in orbit, let me come out to map view and show you. Yes, those are rings around the home planet, and already you can see the diversity of terrain and how beautiful it looks. So again, all of this was hand done. It wasn't just randomly generated. It was all paint, blood, sweat, and tears. The White Guardian made it, and there you can even see what looks to be like a hurricane. So lots of detail in it. And right away you can see that there are 3 moons in the main system. The first one, yeah, so Pandora, that is where we're going to go really quick. Then there's Query, yeah, then that's Dimaran. I know I'm butchering the names, but I'll learn eventually. And let me go out a little farther. And that right there is stunning in and of itself, but you will, if you watch closely, you'll see that it actually rotates. The sort of nebula gases actually spin around and rotate. It's really, really cool. So you can see it's a very busy system right away, and look at some of the inclinations. Look at some of the orbital paths on those planets. It's going to add a lot of variety. It's going to probably ratchet up the difficulty compared to most of the normal planets around Kerbin, because getting to some of these is going to take a lot of planning and a lot of Delta V. And we will be going there a little bit later, but the first thing we need to do is get to the moon and drop our probe. So we will be going to Pandora. That's the closest one that I said that looks very similar to Kerbin. So we're going to set that as our target and create a maneuver and hurry and get there. As far as Pandora is concerned, the Delta V, like I said before, it's almost identical to getting to the moon in the vanilla game. So it doesn't take too much. It's not any harder than if you've gotten to the moon in the stock game, you can get to it in this. Let me check our 800. That's a little far. I wonder if I can get that a little closer initially. I think that's 733. Whoop, lost it. 778. I'm sure we can do this a little bit closer even now. 420. Okay, we will go with that. And then we can just adjust once we're actually in orbit around it. So let's just execute the next node. And I want to use Mech Jeb as much as possible. Let me actually check my Delta V left. How much do we have? Yeah, we have more than enough for the burn. I want to use Mech Jeb because I want to be able to look around as I'm doing this and sort of show off the planet as opposed to watching all the details on the display. But it's pretty clear. Okay, I want to add that he has not placed any of the city lights on the dark side yet, so that is going to be coming in the near future. That is planned, but you can see right away how amazing this planet looks in the whole system, especially with this skybox. Adding the skybox to that blue sun is really, really something amazing, and you can see one of the moons right there. I don't know which one that is. I wonder if I hover over it, it'll show me. Nope. But you can see a lot of the other planets off in the distance. See if I can find them. Last night I was able to hover over and find quite a few of them. But obviously sometimes it's hard to pick them out from the stars. Okay, that's our transfer burn done. Oh, yep, there's Cerulean. And that... he did carry, so Cerulean you can download for the stock or the vanilla game, and that's pretty much done and available. But obviously that is a part of this new evolution overhaul. I'm just going to warp until we get close, and then I'm going to adjust my approach once we get over there. And like I said, I wasn't too concerned with getting a really tight approach since I have more than enough Delta V. I'm not worried about that, and since I'm not playing career, I don't need to worry about cost. And you will notice that there is communication going to Pandora. That I have not yet figured out, but he did say that that was intentional, that there are things there. There is a reason for the communication relay to be hitting Pandora, so that's something that I want to explore as I'm testing this, because he did not say what that's for, but it just that there is something interesting there, and there is a reason for that, so I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, we didn't get too bad. That was actually fairly close for just guessing really quick. Okay, let's do it so that we don't instantly kill the ship, and so that we actually get in. Now, obviously, there is an atmosphere, so you have to be a little careful when entering it. Unlike the moon, which is just complete vacuum, this does have an atmosphere, so you do need to be a little bit careful. And while we are waiting, I think I need to deploy my solar panels and the communications. So let me go ahead and do that before we lose communications and this becomes dead, which seems to always happen lately. I always forget to extend the antenna, and everything just drifts off into space peacefully, never to be seen again. But I'm excited to land on Pandora because you're going to see the terrain on there is something that's really, really cool. And the reason I'm sending this probe is to use HyperEdit to drop a little plane. And the idea of the plane is that I'm going to be flying through the canyons and the mountains, which you'll see in a minute, and just doing a little bit of exploration. Let's see, hold on a sec here. Okay, I'll wait till it's done warping before I get the last one, but this should be... We should be good to go with this one. And how much Delta V do I have left? Oh, wow, I'm not even going to need that last little stage. That was all unnecessary. So yeah, I'm excited to get down to the surface of the moon. Take a look at that right there. Let me turn off the display while it does the burn. And I really do like this engine. I must say that's a really cool looking engine. I haven't actually used this one before, so I think that the plume on that is really neat. But there is Pandora. That is where we are landing. Okay, let me switch over and use our... Yeah, take a look at the terrain just from here. You can see the mountains, and there are so many islands and all of these really tall peaks. You don't actually get a really good grasp of that until you get a little bit lower. But I'm going to use the docking or the landing guidance to pick a place. This actually looks grassland. Yeah, that looks really flat, and like there's plenty of sort of safety area to make mistakes. So we're going to pick that. Deploy landing gear, deploy parachutes. I don't have RCS, but that's okay. Yeah, pick target on map. I already did. And land at target. So let's, again, turn off the display while we land so that we can really sort of get a nice view of the planet as we come in. I'm actually waiting for the time warp to finish because I want to dump this stage. I want something a little bit smaller. We have plenty of fuel in this stage for all of our maneuvers, so I'm going to ditch this as soon as we get out of time warp here. Yeah, you can see some of the peaks already sticking up through the clouds, so that should give you an idea. See, like up there and over there, that should give you a really strong idea of how high some of these mountains are. But there are oceans, there are clouds, so I'm assuming, I haven't actually been told, but I'm assuming the air-breathing engines will work here since parachutes do, so that's why I'm going to be dropping a light little plane in the near future here. But looks like, when is it actually doing its maneuver? How far away is it? So what stage? It's powered code. Okay, I guess we just wait for it. And in the meantime, just take a look at the planet rotating along with us, and you can see the clouds moving over the surface as well. So even though this is only in the beta stage, it looks, you know, really nice right now. I mean, everything looks almost ready to go and download. Here we go. Let's ditch that stage, turn on that engine. That should help us maneuver a little bit faster. Right. Okay, it shows that it has full throttle, but nothing's happening. What's going on? I thought we... Is it draining fuel? What's going on? Yeah, it shows that it's draining fuel, but nothing's happening. That's weird. And the engines are giving thrust. That's weird. It's not showing any plume, and our orbit isn't changing. Interesting. Let's take a look. Our apo-apps and peri-apps, none of that's changing. So I'm going to quick save and then quick load and see if that doesn't fix it, because it did show that we were draining fuel. I'm not sure what's going on there. Our tank was emptying, so let me make sure. Oh yeah, look how hot it is. Shut down engine. Let me try reactivating it. Yeah, is our velocity? Yeah, our velocity isn't changing. Nothing is changing, except the engine is going on and off. Huh, I don't know if that's a matter of the engines or if it's part of the mod, but that is interesting. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit to the main menu and reload the game and see if that doesn't fix it. But I did get down into the planet last night, so I know that it does work. I'm going to go clear out to the very back, or the very top menu, and then reload. Let's see. And see if we can't get that to work. Oh, and we're submerged. This usually happens in the normal game for some reason. I don't know if you guys have found it, but the water level likes to be above the Space Center. So go figure. Let's head back to the tracking station and see if this doesn't fix that. If not, I might have to use the little tiny engine for our maneuver. But luckily I did go overkill, so we don't need to worry about running out of fuel. We should have plenty. And since it does have an atmosphere, we can rely on the parachutes. That's still doing that. Why don't I try and decouple it? and see if that doesn't fix the problem. Let me just make sure I'm not opening up the parachute at the same stage. So I'm going to, actually I'll quick save before I do that. Jettison that, turn on that, and now let's try landing. Let's see, it doesn't have our landing spot, does it? Where was our spot? So let's, that is our target, right? Oh, hey, White Guardian. I am just doing a little bit of testing, but I was having some issues, but I am not certain whether they were from your mod or from something else. So I'm picking a place on the map to land. Let's see. I did have a spot. Oh, hey, that actually looks nice and flat down there. It says it's in water, though. That's interesting. I'm assuming that's not water, even though it says it's water. What happened? I'll show you in just a minute, but I'm assuming that that looks like land, so that's probably land, even though it says water, right? I'm gonna wait for the seal of approval before I click to land there. Then I'll explain what happened. Yeah, but I mean, that's actually land, that's not water. That looks visually like land, so I want to make sure when I land there that I will be landing on land as opposed to what it says being water. Has no biomap yet. Okay, then we're gonna say land at target. Okay, so the issue I had is that I had another stage on here, and I was gonna go in for our descent, and we ignited the engines, and nothing happened. It started draining fuel. So I was actually watching, if you look down here, I was draining the fuel, and the engine was glowing as though it was on, but I wasn't getting any thrust. There was no plume, and my speed and my orbit weren't changing at all. So I don't know quite what was going on with that. I don't know if it was something from this or from the engine mods, you know, some other mod. I've actually seen that happen before. I think you were watching when it happened before. Just the plume and the engine weren't working at all. Okay, good. I'm glad to know it's not evolution. So let's hope it actually works now. It should work. Yeah, just the plume didn't come on. It showed the engine was active and producing thrust, and it was draining fuel, but there was no plume, and I wasn't actually moving anywhere. So I went to the menu, I ditched that stage, and I'm hoping that this will actually end up working. And it looks like we'll find out shortly. Keep your fingers crossed. Okay. Let's see, the engine should be working. Let me abort auto land. Let me just do this myself. Okay, the engine's working good. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it myself, since the auto landing really doesn't want to work. We're gonna fly this bad boy down on our own. I have no idea what would be causing that. It's happened once or twice before, and that was before evolution. So, okay, let's see if we can't find a decent place here to land. Okay, I'm gonna try and land right in that region. Yep. Oh, hey, there we go. And, oh, we're just about to connect. How much delta V is this going to take? Make sure I have enough. Why is it not saying any delta V? That's really odd. Have you seen the other planets yet? Or just, I have not gone to the other planets yet. I'm trying to get this down. I was saying earlier that what I want to do is... Okay, hold on a sec. Let me turn all this off and see. Let me just turn everything that might be on to the off position, because I don't know what... Yeah, I'm just going to make sure everything is off that I can imagine. Auto stage. Where's the landing guidance? Auto warp, deploy. I'm just turning everything I possibly can off. So MechJeb should be... Okay, cool. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. And the maneuver's purple. That's weird. Oh well. Looks cool, I guess. Yeah, we'll go with that. So let's execute that. Yeah. Anyway, as far as the other planets, no. So what I'm doing is I want to just hurry and drop this probe on the surface, because I'm then going to use hyper edit and just throw a light little plane down on the surface so that I can explore with a little efficient plane and see if planes will work. But I also need to get 2 communication satellites into orbit. The first one I'm going to do around the home planet, and then I'm probably going to send something out to one of these planets that are farther out. I'm probably not going to go to Cerulean because I've seen that. So I'm going to pick one that's farther out, and I'm going to send another communication satellite there. That way the whole system is sort of covered by communications, and that will let me see what the planets look like. So it'll test the communications, it'll let me see what all the planets look like, and then I can move on to doing a few more things. Let me actually turn auto warp on so we don't have to sit there and watch. So that's the plan. I just want to land this on the surface so that I have a place to sort of test to make sure there's enough room for a plane. And then I will be using HyperEdit to drop almost like a glider. I'm going to use a really, really small plane to explore everything on the moon. And then I'm going to build sort of like an SSTO for exploring sort of a high altitude, almost like the U-2, sort of like a high altitude reconnaissance plane to sort of do a full loop of the home planet. So that is the plan. I'm not going to get to all of that today. I don't have time for all of that, but that's sort of in the works. So the 2 communication satellites, the plane here through HyperEdit, the plane and the plane back on the home planet. Planets may derail. And by derail, do you mean go into different orbits? Instead, use the Alt F12 debug console to warp. Oh, okay. Instead of just placing it with HyperEdit. So let's see if we're going to get... yeah, that should put us... I'll be able to use the engine if I need to make any little corrections. So let me quick save. So Alt F12, I'm going to actually take a look and see what that does really quick. Debug toolbar. They may leave their orbits if HyperEdit is used. Okay, well, we don't want planets leaving their orbits. So would it be cheats and set orbit? Object thrower. What is? I've never actually played with the debug menu. So what would I use to put a plane where this is going to land? What would be the easiest way to do that? It's under cheats, yeah. Okay. I guess just set orbit. And then I could do... Could I do it so that it just drops like in HyperEdit, or do I have to actually put it into orbit and land it in the atmosphere? Set orbit, then put them in orbit, then fly manually. Okay, so I'll have to put some sort of little rocket on the back of it so that I can get it into the atmosphere. Oh, I should probably close my communications. Okay, I'm going to be closing everything here so that they don't break off, because that's been the theme of the past, I don't know, 2 weeks, is breaking everything off accidentally. Okay, retract antenna. Hopefully I still have communications. I never actually... why does it say they're all blocked? Debris field. What debris field? Okay, apparently there's a debris field in the way. That's... oh, no worries, I guess. But they're moving. They're blocked, and yet they're moving. Okay. Well, I guess we're not going to have power for very long once we land, which is fine because I just... the disc, okay. Oh well, I don't really need... I just needed to sort of land this and see if I can find a suitable place to drop a plane. So let me quick save and then speed it up for the entry. Well, we break parts here all the time, so breaking a few solar panels, we can live with that. There aren't any Kerbals on board, so we're fine. Yes, very, very mountainous everywhere. Very scary for landing anything. You make a pretty but foreboding place. Only the ones with the casing can be retracted. Oh well. Like I said, wasn't too concerned. Made a mistake. Whoops, oh well. Let's check our path here. It looks like it's pushing us, so I might have to give the beans a little bit. Yeah, let me turn off time warp. And let's point prograde and see if we can't... Oh, never mind. We're wobbling. Yes, because we are in the atmosphere now. Well, that didn't work. Apparently I picked a terrible place to land, but actually if I can get down there, that might actually be flat enough to land something on. Psst, what? What sort of secret? Yeah, maybe I'll try landing right there. Let's see. I'm guessing those are coordinates, right? Yeah, let me kill off... I can't get there in this, obviously. Let me kill off my speed and try and land. See if I can't land down on that little flat bit. Is that for Pandora or for the planet, those coordinates? Okay, here we come. Actually, it looks like we're going... No, that should be good. It still shows that we're going to land on it. You've still got the nav ball in orbit mode. Surface, there we go. Well, that can be fixed with just a little bit of thrust, right? Like we did last night. Deja vu, right? Did the same thing yesterday. But if we remember, probes are not planes. Okay, spin, spin. There we go. There we go. We're going. I'm surprised the solar panels haven't broken off yet. Now we're gonna get there. Wow, look at that peak. Yeah, I definitely want to take a plane here and fly through all this, all these mountains. I love the texture on that too. The colors and everything are really, really nice. Oh, cool. You can see the water in the little sinkholes there. Well, it reminds you of something. Yeah, the island you made. Look how tall that is. That's huge. I love that. Okay, we're coming in. Yeah, I think I could land something on here pretty easily as far as a plane. I mean, it's a little rough, but the idea is that I'm going to make something with really, really short takeoff and landing requirements. Like I was mentioning before, almost like a Piper Cub style plane that you can get in and out of anywhere with. Maybe I'll save the chute since I don't have since I don't have an engineer to redo it. Maybe I'll try and land it. As soon as I land, I'll check out the link. Yep, I think that's screenshot worthy again, right? Though I should be paying attention to my descent. Let's see. I'm gonna keep track of my suicide burn. 10, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going up. Okay, let me get this on the ground, then I'll check the link out. Let me open up the communications again. Cool, I didn't blow anything up. Oh man, I love the way that looks. I just want to take a plane here and go explore it. Let me take a look at your link really quick. What's that from? What's that screenshot from? It looks familiar, but what's it from?